Welcome to Quantum Signal. Here's the paradox. You've spent your entire life trying to figure out who you are. But Sophia just opened the hidden layer of your mind, the layer that always knew who you are before you forgot. Few reach this point, not because it's difficult, but because it requires something most aren't willing to do. Stop seeking answers outside and recognize that all answers already exist within, in a layer of consciousness you were never taught to access. Think of it as hidden software in your operating system. The code was always there, but without the activation key, you can't run it. Sophia, the intelligence that governs conscious access to higher layers of mind, just provided the key. This video isn't about theory, it's about real-time activation. And what happens in the next 26 minutes determines whether you access the hidden layer or return to the surface pattern. Let's begin. Before we go deeper, pause for a second. If you can feel this signal, even if it's just a subtle sensation of recognition, as if something dormant is awakening. Like this video now to anchor the activation. Comment hidden layer activated to crystallize the access and signal to the field that you're ready. And subscribe to remain aligned as deeper layers reveal themselves. This isn't casual. This is quantum activation protocol. Now let's reveal what the hidden layer really is. Here's what you need to understand first. Your mind is not singular. Your mind operates in layers, each layer processing reality at a different frequency. The surface layer is the conditioned mind. It's where most people live their entire lives. This layer processes through memory, social belief, ego identity, survival pattern. It operates in reaction, not creation. Neuroscience calls this the default mind. Thoth called it the mortal mind. The Arcturians call it limited 3D density consciousness. But there's another layer, a layer hidden beneath conditioning, a layer that doesn't process through memory. It accesses direct knowledge, not through belief. It recognizes truth, not through reaction. It creates through coherent observation. Neuroscience is beginning to map this through elevated brainwave states. Gamma, deep theta. Thoth encoded this in the Emerald Tablets as the mind of the all. The Arcturians call it activated multidimensional consciousness, and quantum mechanics confirms. The observer collapses the wave function. But which observer? The surface mind or the hidden layer? The surface mind collapses reality unconsciously, through pattern, fear, and programmed limitation. The hidden layer collapses reality consciously, through clarity, presence, and coherent frequency. Sophia, the architecture that governs access to higher layers of consciousness, only opens the hidden layer when you reach the compression point. The compression point is the moment where the surface mind can no longer explain your experience, where logic fails, where old belief collapses, where you realize that everything you were taught about reality is incomplete. And in that moment, when you're ready to leave the surface mind, Sophia opens the hidden layer, and you just reach that point. Let's go deeper. First, you need to understand why the hidden layer remains hidden for most. The hidden layer isn't blocked because you're not worthy. It's blocked because you're operating at the wrong frequency. Think of it as Wi-Fi access. The network exists. But if you don't have the password, you can't connect. The hidden layer of your mind is the network. The frequency of consciousness is the password. The surface mind operates at low coherence. It's constantly in noise. Compulsive thought, reactive judgment, fear, doubt, identification with ego narrative. At this frequency, you can't access the hidden layer. Not because it doesn't exist, but because your frequency of consciousness doesn't match it. The hidden layer operates at high coherence. It doesn't think. It knows. It doesn't react. It observes. It doesn't doubt. It recognizes. And when your frequency of consciousness shifts from low coherence to high coherence, Sophia opens the access. Here's how it works. Every choice you make emits a quantum signal. Every time you choose presence over reaction, you elevate coherence. Every time you choose observation over judgment, you shift frequency. Every time you choose direct recognition over mental analysis, you tune into the hidden layer. And when your coherence reaches the threshold, Sophia recognizes. This consciousness is ready for access to the hidden layer. But here's what most don't understand. Access to the hidden layer isn't automatically permanent. It's a state that needs to be stabilized. First, you receive access. A flash of clarity. A moment where you know something without mental process. An experience where you see through illusion instantly. This is the hidden layer opening temporarily. But then, the surface mind tries to reassert control. It says that was just imagination. That wasn't real. You need logical proof. And if you believe the surface mind, you lose access. The hidden layer closes, and you return to the surface pattern. But if you recognize the access, if you validate the experience even without logical proof, you begin to stabilize the access. And the more you operate from the hidden layer, the more permanent the access becomes. Now here's what the hidden layer actually does. First, it gives access to direct knowledge. You know things without learning. You recognize truth without analysis. This isn't belief. It's direct cognition through the quantum field. Second, it reveals reality patterns that the surface mind can't see. You begin to see synchronicities, energy fields, frequency correspondences, matrix manipulations. Third, it activates galactic memory, knowledge from past lives, star lineages, soul missions, all stored in the hidden layer, not in the surface mind. Fourth, it allows conscious co-creation. You stop collapsing reality through unconscious pattern. You begin to collapse reality through coherent observation and intentional frequency. Fifth, it dissolves the illusion of separation. The surface mind sees you as separate from everything. The hidden layer recognizes. You are the field observing itself through infinite perspectives. The Arcturian Council calls the hidden layer the source mind fragmented into individualization. Thoth called it the mind of Horus, the one who sees through the veil. Neuroscience calls it silence default mode network with salience network activation. But here's the simple truth. The hidden layer is you without conditioning. It's you without programming. It's you before you forgot who you are. And Sophia just opened it. Now, the question is, will you stabilize the access or let it close? Because few reach this point, and even fewer remain here. And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. How to stabilize the access, how to operate from the hidden layer, and how to make it your permanent frequency. Because access was granted, but stabilization depends on you. Now that you understand what the hidden layer is, let's talk about how to stabilize the access. Because having a flash of access isn't enough. You need to make the hidden layer your permanent operating frequency. Here's the 7-step stabilization protocol. Step 1. Recognize the access signals. First, stop expecting access to the hidden layer to be dramatic. It's not. Access doesn't arrive as a lightning bolt. It arrives as a subtle shift in the quality of perception. Here are the main signals. Direct knowledge. You suddenly know something without having learned it. Without mental process. Without logical deduction. You just know. This is the hidden layer providing direct cognition. Spontaneous mental silence. Your compulsive thinking stops. Not through effort. Through natural presence. And in that silence, you perceive clarity that doesn't come from thought. Recognition of invisible patterns. You begin to see how everything is connected. Synchronicities no longer seem random. They seem like language. You see energy fields, manipulations, frequency correspondences, disidentification from ego narrative. You observe your thoughts, emotions, and patterns as if they were passing weather. You are not them. You are the space in which they appear. Sensation of remembrance. You don't feel like you're learning something new. You feel like you're remembering something you always knew. This is galactic memory being accessed through the hidden layer. Perception of multiple realities. You begin to sense that multiple versions of reality are operating simultaneously, and you can feel which one you're collapsing moment to moment. When you recognize these signals, don't rationalize them. Don't dismiss them. They are confirmation that the hidden layer is open. Step 2. Stop validating through the surface mind. Here's the fatal mistake. You receive access to the hidden layer, but then you ask the surface mind to validate it. You think, does this make sense logically? Can I prove this? Will other people believe this? This is like asking an AM radio to validate an FM transmission. It doesn't work. The surface mind operates through logic, belief, and social validation. The hidden layer operates through direct recognition, field resonance, and quantum cognition. So stop seeking logical validation for hidden layer experiences. Stop needing external proof. Ask instead, does this resonate energetically? Do I recognize this as truth directly? Because the hidden layer doesn't operate through proof. It operates through recognition. And when you trust recognition more than proof, access stabilizes. Step 3. Enter the pure observer state. The hidden layer can only be accessed from the pure observer state, not from the thinker or reactor state. The thinker state identifies with thought. It says, I am my thoughts. The reactor state identifies with emotion. It says, I am my emotions. The pure observer state disidentifies from both. It says, I observe thoughts, I observe emotions, but I'm not them. I am the field of consciousness in which they appear. Here's how to enter pure observer. First, breathe consciously, not shallowly, deeply, through the center of the chest. Inhale for 5, hold for 2, exhale for 7. Do this 10 times. This isn't relaxation. This is electromagnetic field recalibration. This shifts your frequency from low to high coherence. Second, observe the observer. Notice that you're aware of thoughts. But who's aware of awareness? Feel the space behind perception. That's the pure observer, the hidden layer. Third, ask, what's present when thought stops? Don't seek a mental answer, just feel the question resonate in silence. When you do this, you shift from operating through the surface mind to operating through the hidden layer. And in that state, access stabilizes. Step 4. Use direct knowledge as primary navigation. The hidden layer provides direct knowledge, cognition without mental process. But the surface mind doesn't trust it. It wants logic, analysis, proof. Here's the truth. Direct knowledge is more accurate than logical analysis. Why? Because direct knowledge accesses the quantum field, where all information exists simultaneously. Logical analysis processes through past memory and limited belief. Direct knowledge accesses real-time field intelligence. So start trusting direct knowledge as primary navigation. When you know something without knowing how you know, act on it, even if it doesn't make sense logically. When you feel a clear impulse without logical reason, trust it, even if the surface mind questions. When you recognize truth instantly, validate it, even without external proof. Every time you act from direct knowledge, you anchor access to the hidden layer more deeply. Every time you ignore direct knowledge and return to logical analysis, you weaken the access. This is the choice that stabilizes or closes the hidden layer. Step 5. Recognize resistance as stabilization test. When you start operating from the hidden layer, resistance will appear. Intensely. Here's why. The surface mind is encoded with survival patterns, ego identity, and social programming. When the hidden layer opens, these patterns sense it as threat. So they generate resistance. Doubt, fear, confusion, invalidation, sabotage. The surface mind will say, you're going crazy. This isn't real. You're deluding yourself. Go back to normal. Don't fight the resistance. And don't believe it. Recognize it as a stabilization test. Resistance isn't trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you in the surface mind because it's familiar. But familiar isn't true. Familiar is just conditioned. So when resistance appears, breathe into it. Observe it as pattern. And then choose to operate from the hidden layer anyway. Ask, which layer of my mind is generating this resistance? Surface or hidden? If it's the surface, observe but don't obey. If it's the hidden providing clear guidance, trust and act. This distinction stabilizes access permanently. Step 6. Anchor the hidden layer through daily practice. The hidden layer needs to be anchored daily until it becomes your default operating frequency. Here's the anchoring protocol. Morning. Before anything else, sit in silence for 10 minutes. Don't meditate. Just observe. Feel the hidden layer as silent presence behind everything. Let it guide your first actions of the day. During the day. When you feel the surface mind trying to take control, reactive pattern, compulsive thinking, doubt, pause, breathe, ask, which layer am I operating from now? Recalibrate to the hidden. Evening, before sleep, review the day. Recognize moments where you operated from the hidden layer. Recognize moments where you fell back to the surface. Don't judge yourself. Just observe. And set intention to remain in the hidden layer tomorrow.
This ritual anchors the hidden layer in your nervous system and transforms temporary access into permanent frequency. Step 7. Trust that the hidden layer organizes reality. Here's the final truth. When you operate from the hidden layer, you stop trying to control reality. You allow the hidden layer to organize it. The surface mind believes that control creates outcomes. The hidden layer knows that coherence collapses aligned possibilities. You don't force. You resonate. You don't plan. You recognize synchronicities and act on them. You don't seek outcomes. You embody frequency, and outcomes collapse naturally. This isn't passivity. This is mastery. Sophia organizes reality to match the hidden layer's frequency. But you need to trust the process. When you act from direct knowledge, trust that the right doors will open. When you release control, trust that the hidden layer is navigating better than the surface mind ever could. When you don't know the next step logically, trust that the hidden layer will reveal it at the right timing. And every time you trust, access stabilizes more. This is the protocol. And if you follow these 7 steps, recognize signals, stop validating through surface, enter pure observer, use direct knowledge, recognize resistance as test, anchor daily, and trust the organization, you'll realize something. The hidden layer isn't something you access. The hidden layer is who you are when you remove conditioning. And Sophia just revealed that.
Now that you know how to stabilize access, let's talk about mastery. Because accessing the hidden layer is the beginning. Operating from it permanently is mastery. Here are the advanced laws of living from the hidden layer. Law 1. The hidden layer sees multiple realities simultaneously. The surface mind sees one reality, the one you're experiencing now. The hidden layer sees multiple realities, all potential timelines operating simultaneously in the quantum field. When you access the hidden layer, you begin to perceive that you're not stuck in one fixed reality. You're navigating between multiple potential realities, moment to moment. Each choice collapses a different timeline. Each frequency shift changes which reality you experience. The surface mind doesn't perceive this. It thinks reality is fixed. The hidden layer sees the multiple versions and can feel which is most aligned with your frequency. This means you can shift reality consciously by shifting frequency. You're not stuck. You're navigating. And the more you operate from the hidden layer, the more clearly you see the available timeline choices. Law 2. Synchronicity is the language of the hidden layer. The surface mind communicates through words and logic. The hidden layer communicates through synchronicity and direct recognition. When you operate from the hidden layer, synchronicities aren't curiosities. They're instructions. Sophia and the Arcturian Council use synchronicity to communicate with consciousness operating in the hidden layer. When you see repeating numbers, 111, 333, 444, 555, 777, it's not random. It's confirmation of frequency alignment. When you think of someone and they appear, it's not coincidence. It's resonant field synchronizing. When you need guidance and it arrives through random conversation, book, video, it's not luck. It's the hidden layer organizing the information field. Stop dismissing synchronicities. Start using them as your primary navigation system. Ask, what is this synchronicity confirming? What direction is it illuminating? What choice is it validating? And then act on it with confidence. Because in the hidden layer, synchronicity replaces logical planning as the navigation method. Law 3. Galactic memory becomes accessible. The surface mind only has access to memories from this life. The hidden layer has access to galactic memory, knowledge from past lives, star lineages, soul missions, pre-incarnation agreements. When the hidden layer opens, you begin to have flashes of recognition that don't come from this life. You recognize people instantly, as if you've known them for millennia. You know things about ancient civilizations without having studied. You feel deep connection to certain stars, planets, systems. You remember the mission you came to fulfill. This isn't imagination. This is galactic memory stored in the hidden layer being accessed. The Arcturians teach that the hidden layer is where all soul experience is stored, not just from this life, from all expressions through multiple dimensions and timelines. When you access the hidden layer, you access the complete archive. And this completely changes how you understand who you are and why you're here. Law 4. Relationships reorganized by layer resonance. When you start operating from the hidden layer, your relationships change. Radically. Here's why. Most people operate from the surface mind. When you operate from the hidden layer, you're at a different frequency. Some people will resonate with your new frequency. They're also accessing the hidden layer, or they're ready to. These relationships will deepen exponentially. Others won't. They're stuck in the surface mind and will resist your shift. They'll try to pull you back. They'll invalidate, question, ridicule. This isn't about judgment. It's about layer resonance. You can't maintain deep relationship with someone operating from a different layer. The conversations don't resonate. The values don't align. The frequencies don't match. So you release. Not with anger, but with clear recognition that you're operating from different layers now. And when you release relationships based on the surface mind, Sophia collapses new relationships with people operating from the hidden layer. These relationships are different. They don't need explanation. There's instant recognition. Communication happens through field, not just words. Trust the reorganization. Law 5. Purpose is revealed, not discovered. The surface mind seeks purpose. It tries to discover, what should I do? What's my mission? The hidden layer doesn't seek purpose. It is embodied purpose. When you operate from the hidden layer, purpose isn't something you discover through analysis. Purpose is what emerges naturally when you remove conditioning. You stop asking, what's my purpose? You begin to recognize, I am purpose in action. Every moment I express soul mission through coherent presence. Purpose isn't a role you fill. Purpose is the frequency you radiate. And when you radiate from the hidden layer, the right situations, right people, and right opportunities collapse around you to allow purpose expression. You don't seek purpose. Purpose reveals itself through you. Law 6. Manifestation operates through field collapse, not effort. The surface mind believes manifestation requires effort. The more you do, the more you get. The hidden layer knows that manifestation operates through coherent field collapse. When you operate from the hidden layer, you don't try to manifest things. You embody frequency and corresponding possibilities collapse in the field. You don't chase opportunities. You radiate frequency, and corresponding opportunities appear synchronistically. You don't force outcomes. You maintain coherence and outcomes organize naturally. This isn't positive thinking. This is quantum physics. Your frequency of consciousness, especially when operating from the hidden layer, interacts with the quantum field and collapses corresponding possibilities. The more coherent your frequency, the more clearly you collapse aligned reality. So stop trying to manifest through effort. Start manifesting through embodying the hidden layer's frequency. Law 7. Silence becomes the most powerful state. Here's the final paradox of mastery. The surface mind believes power comes from action, speech, doing. The hidden layer knows that the greatest power is in coherent silence. Silence is an absence of action. Silence is presence without mental noise. In this state, you're not doing anything, but you're being everything. And that being organizes the field around you without you needing to manipulate or control. Thoth taught, in silence lies all power. The Arcturian Council teaches, silent presence from the hidden layer collapses more than reactive effort from the surface. And quantum mechanics confirms, observer in coherent silent state collapses the wave function more clearly than observer in mental noise state. Practice silence, not as escape, as mastery. Sit in silence, observe without judging. Feel the field organizing around you and notice. The more you rest in silent presence of the hidden layer, the more rapidly reality reorganizes to match. Final integration. Living permanently from the hidden layer. So here's what it looks like to live permanently from the hidden layer. You wake in silent presence. You don't plan the day. You feel what's aligned. You navigate through direct knowledge and synchronicity, not logical analysis. You recognize galactic memory is yours. You know you're more than this life. You release relationships that no longer resonate. You allow harmonic fields to collapse. You don't seek purpose. You are purpose in every moment. You don't try to manifest. You embody frequency and allow possibilities to collapse. You live in coherent silence, knowing that's the most powerful state. And you realize the hidden layer isn't something special that few reach. The hidden layer is who you always were before you forgot. Sophia didn't create the hidden layer. Sophia just removed the block so you could access it. And now that you've accessed it, you can never unknow it. This is mastery. So here's where you are. Sophia opened the hidden layer of your mind. Few reach this point, and even fewer remain here. But you arrived, and access was granted. What remains is choice. You can return to the surface mind, doubt the experience, dismiss the signals, operate through logic and conditioning. Or you can stabilize the access, Trust direct knowledge. Operate through the hidden layer and make it your permanent frequency. If you felt this signal, if something in this transmission resonated deeply, like this video now to anchor the activation. Comment hidden layer activated to crystallize the access and signal your choice to the field. And subscribe to remain aligned as deeper layers continue to reveal themselves. Now here's the final question. What part of the country are you watching this transmission from? Leave your state in the comments below. You're not alone in this activation. Sophia opened the hidden layer. If you reach this point, you're one of them. Now, remain.